So I'm preparing my client's dinner for tonight. So I wanted to show you what I'm gonna make. So I have fennel, I have garlic, of course, red onion, organic lemon. I have lots of herbs. I love herbs. I have fregola, which is from Sardinia. I have these beautiful Picadilly tomatoes. I love tomatoes. And I have an Arista roast, which is pork loin. So I have these beautiful tomatoes. I have a kilo of tomatoes, and what I want to do is slow roast them. These are really delicious. Look at how good they look. So I'm just gonna cut them in half, and I am gonna gut them in this pan. I'm gonna slow roast them at 100 Celsius with tons of olive oil and garlic and some oregano, because I want to enhance the natural sugars and almost confit them. I just kind of like the idea of the pork roast because I'm cooking for 8 people, and yesterday I made gnocchi and I'm kind of tired because the gnocchi took way longer than I thought, but I really wanted to make the gnocchi yesterday. I'm gonna get the feedback later. I hope they loved it. So with the roast, when you're cooking for a lot of people, it's like more turnkey and it goes a long way. And I wanted to keep the flavors really simple and Mediterranean. And we have all of these really great ingredients in season right now. So pork goes really nice with fennel and goes nice with tomato, and lemon marries all of that together, as well as onions, garlic, and all the herbs. And I'm obsessed with herbs. All they told me was they didn't like cilantro, so I'm not using cilantro. I'm gonna be using a few different herbs. So let me get to cutting these tomatoes, and then I'll show you how I season them before I pop them in the oven. All right, so I cut all the tomatoes in half. Now I'm gonna add whole garlic cloves and the peel. I just like smashed them. I want it to be a mellow flavor, which is why I kept them whole. Now I'm gonna add tons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I'm using Tuscan oil. And then I'm gonna add some salt. I'm going to add white pepper. I love using different kinds of peppers, so I feel like white is peppery, but still kind of gentle, so I want the tomato flavor to stand out. And then I have some Sicilian oregano, my favorite type of oregano. And I'm just gonna break it up and add it everywhere. I feel like that's enough. Mix it all up. I feel like we need more oil. So I'm gonna add more extra virgin olive oil. And now my oven is preheated, so I'm gonna get them into the oven at 100 Celsius. I can't remember what that is in Fahrenheit. I'll convert it and add it in the description. And I'm gonna roast them for about 45 minutes. Actually, yes, 45 minutes, we'll check. Might be a little bit longer. Let me get this in the oven. And then meanwhile, I'm going to cook the fregola next, which is that pasta from Sardinia. So I'm working on a fennel salad. So I'm mandolining the 2 fennels, but the water is ready that I put to boil for the fregola, which is this. It's like a pasta from Sardinia. It kind of looks like this. I don't know if you can see. It's made from durum wheat. And they typically make it with like seafood in different ways depending on what part of the island you're in. I'm gonna use it kind of like a couscous. So these take 9 minutes. So I seasoned the water with salt already. I'm just gonna throw it in. And I'm gonna set the timer, and once it's ready, I'll drain it and rinse it. All right, so the fregola is done. I cooked it for 9 minutes, drained it, rinsed it with cold water, And this is one of the times where you're gonna put oil on your pasta, because you usually do not until you add the sauce to it. But it's envisioned like a pasta salad. I'm using this as a pasta, so it's gonna be served cold. So I added some oil so that it doesn't stick while I continue to prep everything else and whatever. So this is the fennel. So it's like 2 bulbs of fennel that I mandolined and 1 red onion. It looks like a lot, but when I add the dressing, it's gonna go down kind of like a slaw. So now I'm gonna make the dressing. So I have 1 whole lemon. So let me move this over. So I'm gonna squeeze 1 whole lemon. I love lemon, and it tastes so delicious with fennel, like so good. I always squeeze lemon like this with a fork. I don't use a press. I've just always done this, oops. I've just always done this. And this lemon is nice and juicy, but I see the seeds coming out, so I'm gonna get the seeds out before I add the rest of the ingredients. All right, so that's the lemon. And I have grain Dijon. I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons. Actually, yeah, 2 teaspoons. Then I'm gonna add some honey. I always add honey to my dressings. Not to make it sweet, but I love balancing flavors. So we're balancing the acidity here. So this is about 1 teaspoon. And then I'm gonna kind of combine it. It already looks good. Now I'm gonna add oil. I do like 1-to-1 oil to acid. I just prefer very assertive vinaigrette. That looks so good. I'm gonna add some salt to taste, white pepper, I'm gonna taste it. All right, so here's the fregola. I chopped a bunch of herbs. So I have, put that down for a sec. I have parsley, chives, and dill. So I'm just gonna add all of it. It looks like a lot. It's not a lot. And it's gonna make the salad, no, it's not a salad. Oh, the fregola, it's gonna make the fregola really delicious. So I'm just gonna mix it in. And it like disappears right into the fregola. That looks amazing. So now look at this. How good does that look? Check for salt. Actually, it definitely needs white pepper. We're white peppering everything today because it's like a nice delicate pepper versus black, which is pungent, which I love on red meat. But for like veggies and light things like this, I'm gonna go with white pepper. All right, let me give it a taste. All right, I need salt for sure. Some salt. I'm gonna add more oil. And then I'm gonna leave it. Which the tomatoes have now been in for an hour. So let's give them a check. These are the tomatoes. They look really good. They've been cooking for an hour. I feel like they're still quite firm. I want them to be soft. I'm gonna cook it for like another 15 to 30 minutes. So the tomatoes are done. They look so good. It's 5:30. I have to drop off the food in an hour, like leave to drop off the food in an hour. So now I'm gonna cook the arista, which is pork loin. So the butcher tied it up for me so it cooks evenly. He put rosemary on it. He says it's seasoned with salt, pepper, and fennel. I'm gonna add some more salt because I like to salt. So seasoning with salt and pepper. And I'm going to add some olive oil on top. So it's just gonna be like a simple roast. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take. I would say at least 30 to 45 minutes. I can kind of tell by touching it when it's ready, but I also have a thermometer. Important thing is not to dry it because it is pork loin. So you wanna cook it through, but cook it just long enough. Don't overcook it. I'll let you know how long I cook it for. I sometimes sear a roast. I'm not gonna do it in this case because I'm cooking with convection at 200 Celsius. So it's gonna make the outside nice and golden. So yeah, so we pop it in the oven. I'm gonna put a timer for 25 minutes and then I'm gonna check it from there. So let's get this in there. I'm so excited. All right, so I'll let you know how long it takes. So here's the arista. Look at how golden it got. Remember I said 200 convection. I said I was gonna cook it by feeling. I use my thermometer. It has to go to 79 Celsius for pork. I thought it would be 25 minutes. It ended up being like 45, so double the time. So now I'm gonna get this sliced up and I'm gonna put the bowls together so I can go drop off the food. So these are the bowls with the fregola, and I'm gonna add some salad and tomatoes to all of them. Look at how good it looks. All right, I'm gonna get these done and then I'll show you because I'm such a time crunch. All right, so the bowls are done. Look, oops. So it's the fregola herb salad, the fennel salad, the roasted pork arista, and slow roasted tomatoes. So let me cover these and go drop these off.